Hello everyone, it's Allison from Determined to Shine, and I'm so excited because I have to show you today the Faery Temple Oracle by Suzy Cherub, and I have been waiting for this for so very long, and it makes me so happy. I finally got a copy. It was released pretty recently, but was like immediately out of stock everywhere, and so it's been really hard for me to track down, but I finally grabbed a copy during a Llewellyn sale, and it arrived, and I opened it and I looked at the first couple of cards and I went, nope, I'm gonna have to look at this one with all of you because it is so beautiful and transcendent and everything I ever wanted. And I've only looked at 3 cards, so no pressure on myself, right? Okay, so this is the Faery Temple Oracle. It is wisdom and wonder to empower your fairy spirit. It is a Blue Angel deck, so very standard size box. And then we will get inside, of course, as we do with most Blue Angel decks, the guidebook that is the size of the box and the cards which are not. So first, let's look at the guidebook and then we will dive into the cards. So I'm so excited. I'm like, my hands are shaking. My hands are always shaking. It's MS, but I pretended it was because I was excited. Okay, so we've got the card meanings, introduction, just talking about, it looks like, fairies being elemental beings, healing fairies, earth fairies, water sprites, fire fairies, winged fairies. So that's probably worth spending a little more time reading, how to work with the Oracle. Consecrating your deck. I always think it's important to do a little deck ritual. I do talk about that in some of my other videos. This is really neat. It says to kind of work with the deck in nature, which I really like, because this fairy energy is very earthy to me, even though it's, there are fairies in every element. So we've got some different spreads to use here. It looks like a fairy life path reading. That would be amazing. And then the card meanings that each come with an affirmation as well, it looks like, which I always enjoy. And then our, looks like some other deck information and notes. So, okay, so let's dive in to the cards. So I love this back, very, just kind of simple and beautiful. Great cardstock. Kind of standard Blue Angel. It is matte. And then the cards are not numbered, but the guidebook is alphabetical. And then it looks like the borders are kind of all different colors. So let's take a peek into the magic of this deck, because you know what I'm going to say, I'm here for it. Let's see if I freak out. Okay, I'm going to try not to freak out. But we'll take a look, and then maybe we'll do a reading at the end as well. Okay, so we have abundance, let go, conjure, craft. I love these galaxy-like star creatures here with the moon and the just very beautiful energy. Look at this, ancient memory. This is right out of a fairy tale or a dream or something. I feel like I have seen this creature, this fairy, this fae before, and my soul responded so deeply to this card. And then I saw this card. This was the third one I looked at it, and then I put it all back in the box. So this is the last one I've seen before. This is authenticity, integrity, intimacy, and expression. I love the hair. I love the braid. I love the autumn colors against that blue sky. And I love that she's naked, which is going to sound funny because they did it in a way that it's not like a nudity card, but it's authenticity. And so it's that stripped back, just presence, right? That authentic unfilteredness, I guess. Okay, let's keep going. Celebration, party, merrymaking, and fun. Beautiful. This, of course, reminds me of Christmas or Yule. Consequence, change, flutter, effect. I love this. I love the hairstyle here. I love that I'm seeing some diversity in this deck, which is not about humans, but we are seeing some different skin shades. We're seeing some more natural hairstyles. So that's awesome. And I love the butterflies here for consequence, right? Because, you know, they're such a universal symbol of transformation and of change. And the only thing that stays the same is that everything is changing. Creation. That is beautiful. Joy, dreams, momentum. I love it. This is beautiful. Though I have to admit, I'm getting a little bit of a like Hunger Games flashback when they almost died from the berries. So, yeah, you know, I think that's not what those berries are. But we all have our little funny associations. That's just me being silliness. Okay, divine justice, burdens, impartiality, and karma. Beautiful card. I'd be curious to read the guidebook message on that one. End. Sweep away, culminate, restore. I love this. I feel like she's about to like launch into the sky and disappear forever. You know, be complete. Free spirit, acceptance, truth, and sincerity. Love the crown of daisies. Daisies are one of my favorite flowers. They're kind of my first favorite flower. They were my favorite growing up and into my 20s, etc. These days I'm pretty obsessed with sunflowers and I've got a rose thing happening, but I still always love the daisies. And I love this he loves me not thing happening here, right? Fresh start, honesty, gentleness, hope. Who doesn't need a fresh start? Heart of the rose. Oh, this is beautiful. I just love the ethereal quality on all of these cards. I love the color depth. I love the line. Higher consciousness. Awaken, expand, enlighten. Beautiful. I feel like this animal, is that a moose? I feel like I should know that. I feel like he's going to turn his head and talk to me. Like he's just, it's interesting because this is a fae, but this animal guide is to me what I'm getting that higher consciousness vibe from. Like he's the one holding the ancient wisdom, right? At least for me. Here's intuition, know, see, feel. Love that. This is such a like when I think of an enchanted forest, this is like exactly how I picture it in my mind, right? Leadership, lead, teach, and self-govern. I love that. I love how much earth energy is here, but with that spark, almost a torch, that spark of creative energy. And I always think of leadership as, you know, igniting, like when I'm teaching or when I'm doing any of those things. I always kind of am harnessing my fire energy for that. What I love, again, here, orange stone, so likely a fire element stone with some feathers, which are going to be an air element. Depending on what these teeth are, that could even be a water element in the same card. The other thing I love about this card is the keyword of self-governance, right? Like so often I get a leadership card or something like that, and I think it means my business. And sometimes it means to like take charge and get your own crap in order before moving on, right? So I love that. Legacy, trust, inspire, fulfill. I love this. Anytime I'm in a meditation and it's like, lie down in the green grass. This is how I'm like always imagining things, right? Lily of love. Oh, this is beautiful. Transform, enliven, and regenerate. I'm here for this deck. I really, really am. Longevity. Love the pine cones here. Luck. Of course, this is the cover image on the deck box and guidebook. Enter, leap, and fly. And of course here as well. So definitely a lot of that energy in the deck. Magnetize, guide, rise, and attract. This is the first like male presenting figure we've seen. So I did mention some varying skin tones before, but of course we have seen primarily female presenting bodies. So a little bit of a shift here. Loving the northern lights kind of coming from this bird here and the crystal as well. Really powerful. Like what we What we seek, we attract, and we send into the world, right? There's a lot you could spend time with here. It's a thing I've been doing a lot more lately, is just spending more time with a single card. And like, what does it really have to say? Instead of looking at it, reading the guidebook, and moving on. I love this. Make a wish. Ask, believe, receive. And of course, this is, you know, the way many of us made our first wishes as children, right? Like with the crown of dandelions and sending the seeds into the wind. Midsummer. Got another dude popping up, so we're moving along there. Mojo, focus, motion, ascent. Yep, it's time for awesome things. Oh, I don't know why I said oh. She just seems so young and innocent to me. This is moon magic. Cycles, infusions, and phases. And I just love the rays coming down in so many of these cards. New beginnings. Revival, renewal, and romance. That's interesting. May need to fall in love with yourself if romance isn't a thing you're seeking. Passion, kindle, glow, and spark. Patience. Oh, I love the trees growing out of her cloak. I love that perspective play that's in so many of these cards. Peace. Despair, passing, and bliss. So this is interesting, right? Like, you don't often see despair and bliss as keywords on the same card. And I think the key here is the passing, right? Like that we are moving through the emotions to get to peace. Like when despair happens, it's by moving through that we can achieve that peace and then perhaps ultimately bliss. But you've heard me say this 100 times. I really believe we have to feel all our feelings and acknowledge our past in order to have an awesome future. Perception. This is also really beautiful. I'm really struck that this image is not bordered. I don't know if we've seen any others that aren't bordered. That's a little odd. I feel like there should be lines here. And I don't love borders, but it doesn't bother me on these because they feel almost like portals. But anyhow, yearn, intuit, and sense. I love these little birds. And there's some sparkle in her eyes, of course. Pleasure, another young maiden, it seems. Poppies, delight, embrace, and open. Purification, detox, cleanse, and liberate. Rebirth. Oh, I'm loving the dragonflies here. Begin, innovate, and glide. And I feel like you can see in her eyes, like this woman has seen some shit and she has come forth, right, into a rebirthing. I love this. This card might need to sit out with me a little bit today. Sometimes that happens when I'm doing a first look or something like that. Something speaks to me and I have to spend some time with it. So here is resilience, strengthens, step up, and support. Getting some very Merida vibes from the Disney Pixar movie Brave. Of course, Merida was human, but still. She was very resilient, eventually. Revel. Manifest, charm, and play. Rise above. Hardiness, endurance, and growth. Share. Give, care, save. I love the little squirrel. I love the acorns in her hair. That's super fun. Shared mission. Understand, co-create, and respect. So we've got this, you know, I mean, it doesn't say this on the card. This feels very relationship and lovey to me. I don't know if that's what's in the guidebook or not, but definitely feels like a partnership. But I think that wouldn't have to be limited to a romantic partnership. I think that's just where the art is at here. Shine. Do you think she's determined to shine? Oh, ha ha ha. Sorry, okay, I couldn't help myself. Open up, stand out, realize, step forward. I'm surprised this is like a nighttime photo. Art. Every once in a while I forget that I can't take pictures of mythological beings. I mean, you know, you sort of can, but you know what I mean. You can't get this in a photo. One time I was looking for a photo of a phoenix and I'm like, oh yeah, that's not real. I need like art. I knew a phoenix wasn't real. It was just funny because I love to embrace the reality of how things are to me, that I can suspend disbelief very well. I'm like, Mickey's not a person in a costume. No, anyway, I'm surprised this is at night because I think of shine as such a daytime energy. But you also have to shine at night in the darkness. So hey, that's where we are maybe. Sing, vocalize, communicate, and chant. Love this. Here for it. Beautiful. Stability. This card's important. Navigate, participate, and motivate. And I love how rooted she is into that tree. You can hardly tell where she begins and where the tree ends. And I mean, you can, but it's very much a unified, grounded presentation. Take flight. Daring, bravery, and certainty. So beautiful. I love kind of the rawness of this. Again, very authentic. Love the wings. And I love, once again, it feels like she's just kind of waiting to burst forth, right? Off she goes. Tears, loss, grief, and surrender. That is magical. And she's drinking, of course, from the leaf there. I think our tears, you know, this is a really great card. I don't know what the guidebook says, but our tears restore us. You know, we think of tears as bad sometimes, or people try not to cry, and I'm so against that. Like, cry, let those emotions out, or they're going to get stuck in you. And then drink up the healing that comes from that, symbolically or literally, whatever floats your boat. Tenderhearted, rally, encourage, calm. Once again, we have kind of words that feel almost at odds, but not really. Okay, love it. Truce, ceasefire, resolve, prosperity. Interesting, prosperity coming from truce, right? Like when you, but it kind of makes sense though, right? Like when you keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting things, sometimes you just need to like lay it down, you know, stop and then allow. And vision. Visualize, imagine, and foresee. Love this. I feel like, once again, this is a creature of much knowledge. So those are the cards. I am, needless to say, in love with this oracle. I love Fae decks. I'm working on getting a Fae deck collection video for you soon as I bring that series back to life. But I'm in love with this deck. So let's do a reading. Before I do a reading, whenever I have a deck for the first time, I like to, you know, I have a whole kind of ceremony I go through where I dedicate the deck and some of those things. I'm not going to do all of that right now because it's kind of involved. If you want a whole video on that, you can ask me. Although I do have actually a class. If you check out the classes that I have in the link below, Oracle cards beyond the basics, and I go through my whole like new deck routine. I interview a deck live. It's really great. But one of the things I always do, as you guys know, is I like to do a Selenite Wand blessing. I almost always use this wand, which you guys have seen many times, to dedicate a new deck. But with this deck, it's so earthy that I chose my kind of earth magic Selenite Wand. So I would just kind of clear these cards this way along with, there's so much, like, I know this just probably looks silly, but like I can feel so much moving energetically and like love in the cards. Okay. So let's do a reading. I'm going to zoom out just a hair to get us a little bit more on the screen there, just so I can shuffle and such. So take a pause if you can, depending on when you're watching this, and just ask Spirit for additional guidance on anything you need right now. I'm not a great shuffler, so I apologize for that. It's many of you know I don't have great feeling and function in my hands. But I get it done. This is how I generally shuffle. So just take a pause, take a deep breath, connect with your spiritual connection, and just ask for some guidance on whatever's on your heart. Like, what do you need to know about this situation, to bring it to a place of ease or joy in your life. So just take a minute, hold that situation in your mind. I've got mine, so we'll see what comes up for me as well as for you. So once I shuffle, I often, especially with oracles, still kind of spread the cards and intuitively go to where I feel drawn. And if you're trying to figure that out, like I just am looking for almost like a stickiness energetically. Like I feel a pull to one card or another, which is why I pulled this one out. And let's see what we have here. Authenticity, integrity, intimacy, and expression. So the answer, of course, to the question, right, is going to be different for everyone. I'm just sorry. I always feel like I need to, like, when I do card readings, I love to pull in my crystals. So forgive me there. That feels so much better now. Okay. So we have authenticity, and I'm feeling so touched by this card because, my question was about moving to a new place and how to best succeed there. And I don't know what your question was, but of course, like the foundation for dealing with so many different situations is to simply go back to who we are at our core. Like you are not broken, you are whole, you have everything you need, and it's going to be okay. And like, who are you in your soul? Like what makes your heart flutter? What delights you? What inspires you? What gives you joy? And tap into that and find a way to connect with your heart and bring that expression forward so that you can like joyfully move forward. And if it's a conflict, like stay true to what you know. Like don't allow somebody else to tell you who you are. Don't allow somebody else to tell you what you stand for. Don't allow somebody else to dictate your life, right? Okay, that's from Allie. That's from me. Let's see what the guidebook says. Okay, it says the maple tree fairy whispers sweet insights of freedom, passion, and strength. It is your birthright to be cherished, respected, and appreciated in relationships. Open your heart to receive all the love you are entitled to. It's safe to express the real you, right? Intimacy flows into your life when you courageously embrace your wild and free spirit, fully opening to enjoy the pleasure of physical affection, loving tenderness, and euphoric connection. Knowing that you are an embodiment of passion and love magnetizes them to you. Feeling physical, spiritual, and mindful unity brings you elated ecstasy. Healing beyond the expectations and perceptions of others, hiding behind the expectations and perceptions of others can be soul destroying. I'm going to read that a third time. First time was an error. The second time was right. And the third time is because I want you to hear this. Really, really hear this. Hiding behind the expectations and perceptions of others can be soul destroying. Remember who you were before others decided for you. Stop worrying about what others may think of you. The Maple Tree Fairy encourages you to stay on your flight path to prevent unnecessary fear creeping in. Liberation is the genuine expression of your soul's essence. Delve into your primal instinct and wild fairy spirit to find your inner strength and build your resilience. You are stronger than you realize. Your integrity is your superpower. Be honest with yourself and others. Everything you need to know is deep inside your heart. Pretty sure I just told you that. So feel it. Intuition is a pathway to the raw and genuine you. Tap into your inner wisdom to discover your truth and express it freely. Love every inch of yourself now. Love that. And the affirmation is, I open to my wild, glorious, empowering truth. I open to my wild, glorious, empowering truth. Oh, so beautiful. What a powerful message from this card today for all of us. I'm so grateful. I am so excited about this deck. I feel like it is right on time in my world. I am excited to play more with it. I've been saying that over and over, but I have so many decks that have just kind of burst in right now. Right on time in this transition and weird part of my life, right? So Embrace this. Check the description box below. I have a link for you to get your own copy of this deck. I have a link to the Selenite Wands class and video and some other stuff from me. You can browse everything. There's quite a lot out there. If this really resonated with you, I also encourage you to check out my You Are Not Broken class. It's a really quick, affordable 1-hour workshop on just helping you reclaim your essence and who you are. Really powerful stuff. So that's all there. Of course, if you liked the video, leave me a comment, like, subscribe, all the YouTube things, you know that. And just a reminder that you have everything you need. You are safe. Darkness is temporary. Sun's going to come out tomorrow. Embrace and be you. That is the key to it all, okay? Until next time, friends, sending you so much love, so much joy, and just, a beautiful life. I will see you soon.